Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday 2-minute tip. A question that I see on a lot of chat boards, even chef-run chat boards, is that people are really intimidated about cooking rice. The smell of white rice steaming in the kitchen is one of my most favorite cooking smells. It's fresh and earthy. It's a little bit sweet, but grainy and homey. And I'm just a really big fan of rice. Ever since I was a kid, I love it. So I cook a lot of white rice. Usually I have basmati or even just a long grain white rice, but also brown rice. So what I'm talking about here specifically is long grain. So short grain rice will take a little bit longer to cook, and brown rice in general will also take a little bit longer to cook than any sort of white rice. But you can look on the back of the package that you have to see what the recommended water ratio is. So what you need is a pot that has a tight fitting lid. So you really don't want to have to doctor this. The lid that came with the pot is really the way to go for rice. And you don't want anything that's too big. You kind of want something, mid-range, so that you have some depth, especially if you're only cooking, say, 4 servings or so of rice. Get a bigger pot for more servings, but you really want the rice to be able to be at least an inch or, a couple inches high. Rinse your rice. What that does is it takes any starch living on the outside off the rice. The starch on the outside is what will make it gummy at the end. So definitely worth it to rinse it. Sometimes I honestly just put it in the pot and then dump the water out so I don't use my strainer. And that works out fine. So salt, water, and the rinsed rice in a pot, turn it on to high, bring it to a full boil, then stir it once, turn it down as low as possible, fit the lid on it. If you have white rice, it probably needs to steam for somewhere around 16 to 18 minutes. And what you'll see at the end is that all the water has evaporated. There are little holes around it where the water has kind of come out. Everything should look fluffy, but not gummy or sticky. And there's no water left in the bottom. Once it's done, at that point, you turn off the heat and fold it. Then put the lid back on and let it sit on the side of the counter, maybe for another 5 to 20 minutes. And then that'll allow it to fluff up a little bit and be really soft and tender without being sticky or gummy. Talking about storing, freezing, at that point, if you put it flat on a baking sheet and let it cool down, you can then scoop 1-cup portions and zip them up in a Ziploc bag or put them in a Tupperware and freeze them. It freezes well this way, really for about 2 weeks, maybe 3. You could go a little bit longer, but then it might get kind of icy. Otherwise, if you store it in the fridge, it's really best within a day or 2. Otherwise, it starts to dry out if it stays for maybe upwards of a week. The longer it stays, it'll dry out. The refrigerator just naturally sucks out the water. And at that point is when you want to make fried rice or some sort of fritter or really reinvent the rice. But if you're making it ahead and you store it just for a day or 2, to reheat it, you can just do a damp paper towel or even just sprinkle a little bit of fresh water over the top, cover it, and then put that in the microwave, stir it occasionally, and it'll fluff right back up and still taste super delicious. So you can make yourself some rice ahead, get it in the freezer, make it every couple of weeks if that's better. Otherwise, just keep it in your fridge and microwave it before eating, and you're ready to go. The one thing I kind of didn't mention is if you have brown rice or short grain rice, look on the package and make sure that you're cooking it longer. You might need more water and you might need to steam it for upwards of like 35 or 40 minutes if it's brown rice, but still basically the same process. Let me know if you have any questions about cooking rice. I want everybody to be able to steam it at home and enjoy it. And happy last day of Trump being president, everyone. We'll see you on the other side.